Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Spurs Chemo, 10th Man and Sleeping Warrior. Very good to have you all.
Woo! Dude. Don't forget Paul.
Oh, Paul, my bad. Sorry, how you doing, Paul?
Paul always.
Yeah, you forgot me the last few times I've jumped on here. Sorry.
I'm sorry. We have also got a few people in Discord. That said, I haven't actually put a new link, so the one from yesterday I think dies after 24 hours, so I'll put a new link out now. Hopefully we'll get a few people in the Discord server as well. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Still looking for it.
No.
Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No. No.
Hey, Chocolate.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chuck.
Morning, good to have you. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No signs of gravity.
Gravity, what's that?
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No evidence for the distance.
Hold on, because this force.
What force?
Doesn't sit well with me that we have an object, whether it's made by man or not, it's moving. I haven't been told the cause of the movement. You've said man, but you know, you said the other day if a car or a plane were just parked up, you know, and a gust of wind blew the car, made it, you know, float, whatever. You said, well, that's the wind. That's the cause of the car moving. Now, this Cavendish, in fact, forget the word Cavendish. Two balls on a wire attracted to another two balls. What's the cause? What's the cause? This is what is troubling me, because I don't think that this movement would happen.
Spurs. You can't ask a question, then go on and on and on and on and on about what's troubling you.
Sorry, God.
So, what's causing it? Well, first you establish what the effect is, and you're telling us the effect is balls that you string up attracting one another. Well, the effect that we're trying to find the cause of is balls being strung up, isn't it, Spurs? It's not something you're going out in nature and saying, oh, I wonder why this happens. It's only applicable in the setup that you've come to try and find as the effect. Well, the effect, balls you string up in a shed attracting one another, that's your dependent variable. Not some force. That's the dependent variable. That's what you're observing. Now, if you're saying, well, we don't observe it in nature, then this isn't in the realms of natural science, and therefore I'm not interested in it. It's just some
Well, this is the thing, you see. Again, I understand how you're describing it. I appreciate how you're describing, but you've said already, if a car starts to float because of a
he didn't say that.
If because of a gust of wind, we know it's because of gust of wind. The car
didn't
float.
No, we don't.
Man,
no, we don't. Spurs, you're getting where you're just making these declarations left and right. Like, I agree with you. No, if you've got a phenomena, a car is being what you called levitated. Now, I appreciate that you're already saying that that's probably because of the wind, because we're in a bloody hurricane. But in order to establish that that is the cause of the effect, You then make a hypothesis, giving you the dependent variable, that would be your phenomena, things being levitated, and an independent variable, your presumed cause of that effect. Now, it's not that you're saying in a wind tunnel a car gets levitated. What causes that? Because that's what you're doing with the Cavendish experiment. You've created a situation with the balls themselves to create an effect. You've conjured the situation in the first instance. It's not like you're going out and just watching something levitate and then trying to figure out what's causing that. You've got something that's been constructed that creates an effect based on its construction. And then you're saying, what causes that? Well, but for the fact that you built it, it wouldn't be doing it.
I don't know if you've seen those. There's some stones or rocks in there. I'll have to have a look in a desert somewhere, and they just start to move, like randomly move. Scientists are like, "Well, how are these bricks moving?"
Narnia.
No, this is a real place. This is a real place.
Yeah.
They start to move. Let me find.
Where do we experience?
I'll come back to you. Let me find this.
Yeah, it's due to the temperature differential. Yes, I know what you're talking about. The sliding rocks. Yeah,
right.
That's
So
got
hold on, please. So my point is that you're establishing what is causing this, and I'm trying to find out. Not yet. How have you done this? How have you just said?
You're just not listening, Spurs. Spurs, you keep asking me for cause. Yeah. Now, cause can be adjudicated by a method, and the first step in that method is to establish what the phenomena is. That's it. You can't get past that stage. But you keep going, well, what's the cause? Of what? That's the first step. What are you establishing the cause of? Man-made balls going towards each other. Well, we know. Man made the balls. So we already know what caused that to happen. Spurs, every single time. This is really becoming frustrating. But
well, it is for me as well.
Yeah, because I'm giving you your answer and you're still talking. But for the fact that a man put that together, they would not be doing that. Now, if you can show me where they do that, and it doesn't include a man making something, then I'll accept it as a phenomena. But if you're going to continually say, look, the man-made stuff does something, I'm going to keep saying, yeah, you've got your cause in the description. The man-made stuff does that. It's not a natural phenomena.
Can I respond? Because like I hear what you're saying, but it's like you're missing my point. Okay, we have a football. It's created, designed by man. The cause of this ball is man. Man created the ball, what we see. Okay, but if that ball starts to move by the wind, electric, rain, whatever, you can't say man caused that ball to move. Because man didn't cause the ball. It had another effect from somewhere else. Something else caused that ball to move. Just like you explained to me with the rocks, the sliding rocks. Something else, like man could make bricks, put those bricks next to those bricks. They would move, not as a result of man.
Okay, Spurs. Okay, but that could equally apply to a leaf, couldn't it? It doesn't have to be. It doesn't specifically only apply to a ball, does it? Whereas this force you're claiming is only ever exampled in your football. Oh my bad, the Cavendish quote-unquote experiment. So there's no other examples like a leaf suddenly moving, like the ball suddenly starts moving. There's no examples of mass attracting mass outside of the contraption, Spurs. There's no equivalent that you can give me like the football. Because when I try and give the example or debunk your nonsense, you'll talk over me because you're basically a baller now, aren't you? I'm not allowed to make a conclusion.
I'm a ball earther. I'm looking at all of the options.
I'm still in the middle of an explanation. I'm still in the middle of it, and you're talking. So yeah, you are basically a baller because you're obfuscating my point.
I argue.
But why aren't you letting me? Now you're obfuscating, talking about this rather than just letting me make my point. I don't get it. Yeah. My point being that you can't give an equivalent. I can say leaf moves like ball. You can't say those balls out there are attracting one another. No, you can't give me an equivalent, Spurs. It only happens in the apparatus.
Nathan, can I interject a thought here? but I need clarification on something. The torsion bars that are attached to the ball in the shed, in the so-called Cavendish experiment, the so-called experiment, are they sensitive torsion bars? Like, how sensitive are they, would you say?
They're very, very sensitive. What's your point, man?
My point is this. I just typed in earthquakes in Southern California near LA. 8 earthquakes in the past 24 hours, 82 earthquakes in the past 7 days, 411 in the past 30 days. I live in Southern California. I didn't feel any of them, but something sensitive might.
Yeah, it could detect all sorts of other things, but that isn't where I debunk it though, 10th Man, because you're into looking at what it does. And why is it doing it? Because a man made it to do that. It's not that he came across a phenomena and needed to explain it. They just built the example and then extrapolated out of the weight of the Earth from it. That's what it was primarily designed to do, give you the mass of Earth. That's what its purpose is. Bullshit. That's not giving you the weight of Earth. Just nonsense. The extrapolation, the mathematical derivative from it, isn't actually coming from Cavendish or Reverend John Mitchell. You know, this whole narrative is just strung together by the people we argue with. It's all irrelevant because they don't have a natural phenomena. So, all of this, well, how sensitive is it? What, the man-made phenomena?
Right. But that wasn't for us who understand what you said. That's for Spurs who won't take that as an unnatural thing and apply a natural scientific method to it. I'm trying to tell him it could be many things, but it's not what they say it is because you don't observe it in nature.
What?
Who cares what it is? Who cares what made it move? We know it's not true because we don't see nature that way.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm just looking for an answer of what is the cause. Nathan's saying man, and
again happened again.
Rocks
completely
moving.
ignored me. Completely ignored me. So I've said it. I'll say it again. Spurs. Let's see if you listen rather than talk over me. You're going straight to what's causing it. Well, the method dictates that you first establish what the effect is. Yeah, and the effect in this instance is a man-made device, not something we're observing in nature. So you keep asking for the effect. Step 1 is establish the cause. Sorry, other way around. You keep asking for the cause. Step 1 is establish the effect. Dependent variable, effect. Step 1, observe a phenomena. Well, if step 1... I
have a phenomena here. I'm showing you my screen.
It keeps doing it every single time.
You know what that is?
Now Arwen's going to pipe up.
Don't tell me what you know what it is. Have you done an experiment to show why these things are moving?
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Oh, God.
It's a matter of isolating the independent
God. I do not believe this. I want to make my point. I want to make my point, not have an offside discussion about it. The point will never change. You keep asking me to give you a cause of an effect that's made by man. Step 1, observe natural phenomena. That's the end of the argument. You're saying, I need an explanation for this experiment. The experiment's step 3. Step 1, find out what the phenomena is. If step 1 is step 3, then it's pseudoscience. Because you don't have step 3 before you have step 1. So asking me to explain an experiment when we haven't got a phenomena yet is nonsense. Pseudoscience. That's where the argument ends. But if after I finish the statement, Spurs goes, I still need to explain what's causing it. What's causing the effect of a man-made phenomena? We're just going to keep doing this indefinitely, Spurs. This is the end of the argument.
How is that rock moved by people, or is this a natural thing?
Oh, no, Arwen. Oh, yeah.
Over?
My bad, Arwen. Sorry. I didn't hear the end statement because I cut you off too soon. Yeah. Or is it a natural thing? Exactly, Arwen.
But it could be. I've heard about it, that it basically, this traveling rocks, what makes them move is the wind. The wind kind of catches them, and then a natural form of turbulence-induced cymatics makes them slowly vibrate in a certain direction. So it's like a natural wind-caused crawling. It only happens on really big, wide-open, flat surfaces, just like this desert.
It gets really cold. Anyway.
Doesn't matter. The temperature doesn't matter. It's about the wind.
We're not talking about these rocks sliding in one direction.
No cause, you see. Now we're arguing over a natural phenomena Well, we don't know how this is happening.
Who cares? Sorry, have you got a claim based on these sliding rock, Spurs?
Wind.
Do you have a claim
Wind.
based on these sliding rocks or not? Or is this just a red herring? Because who cares? We're talking about Cavendish and the fact that it doesn't have a natural phenomena. It doesn't adhere to step 1 of the scientific method. It's already on step 3 when you start asking questions.
Look, Sporskimo, considering the rock, it has nothing to do with mass attracting mass. It's, to me, obviously a wind-induced phenomena, and you can isolate it. You take one of these rocks, you put a box over it, and you anchor it to the ground with pins. Then you take one of the other rocks, you leave it. You go there, you come back after half a year, and if the rock inside of the box has moved against the side of it, then there's something else going on. If it was exactly where you left it and the other rock has moved, then it's obviously caused by the wind.
Hypothesis, Arwin. Not we simply don't. So Nathan, I'm comparing this. Not again. I'm not calling it Cavendish.
So you're just ignoring it. What did you say?
No, it's a good idea, Arwin. Like again, it's a hypothesis that you would need to demonstrate, right? But I'm saying to Nathan is that forget the idea of mass attracting mass. The ball is moving. Now, I'm not saying it's because it's attracting. I'm saying that we have an object in nature that moves. We have an object in an experiment that moves, or so-called experiment. I just want to know what is the cause of that object, those two objects moving. That's all. That's it. You're saying man is for the Cavendish. Now we have in nature something moving. So how do we find that out then? What's the cause of that?
Well, you don't see it in nature. That's the point.
No, I didn't say mass attracting mass. I said ball moving. The ball was moving, not mass, just moving.
I understand, Spurs, but who built the shed?
Who built that desert?
No, why don't you answer my question?
What are you basically asking is what causes motion?
No, what caused the object in the desert to move?
I just told you.
Well, how did you know that? How do you know that?
Wind, because it happens, and you can deduce it from the layout of the area. And I've heard it before.
Why is this happening? Why are we equivocating? This is not the natural phenomena being studied in Cavendish. This is just some bullshit we're just discussing on the side. It's a red herring. This is meaningless. Who cares? Unless you've got a claim to make based on these sliding rocks. Who cares?
Right. It's not a related phenomena.
Right. This is
sliding
a natural phenomena. Yeah, hold on.
Phenomena.
This is what a natural phenomena looks like, Spurs. Yes, you're right. You've established what a natural phenomena looks like. Something occurring in nature. Now show me mass attracting mass in nature.
I didn't say mass attracting mass.
No, they do. You keep asking me for the cause of something that claims mass attracts mass when you build a machine to attract mass. No, so you're asking me for that. What's the cause of it? What's the cause? What's the cause? You keep asking.
Ignore the ball earthers rhetoric. I'm saying we just have a ball. We have a string. It starts to move. What's the cause? Did I push it? Did somebody blow on it? What happened?
Hold on. Do you want to show me that?
What, a Cavendish?
You've just said let's get away from Cavendish. Ball on string, it moves. Well,
where's your ball on the string in
Does it? Does it? Or are you just making this shit up?
No, I'm saying that's what the globe earthers.
I don't care. You've said let's get away from the globe earthers. Now you're immediately back on them, Spurs. You've just said let's get a string with a ball. It moves. Does it? Oh, really, Spurs? So we are just.
That's what I'm asking. Does it? Does it? Just
You're
move?
making the example. You're asking me to make it for you now, like a typical baller. You want me to make this example for you?
No.
You've stated, Spurs. You string up a ball and it moves. Does it? Is my question. And your answer is, you tell me. What about your shit example? No, Spurs, mass never attracts mass.
I'm not asking you. I'm saying that's the question we, as all of us, are trying to find. Not you, does it? I'm saying that's the aha. So we have a ball on string. They start to move.
Does it?
Saying, well,
does it?
That's my point, Nathan.
No, it's a question. You're making a statement.
What is your point?
You're making a statement. It moves. That's a statement. You're saying you've got a ball on a string, it just moves randomly of its own volition. Yeah. And I'm saying, does it? And you go, well, that's what they say. That's what we've got to figure out. That's not my question. Does that happen? Can you show me that? Or is this just hypothetical shit you're making up, Spurs?
But I think you agree now then. Because you're saying it doesn't. Balls just don't move. That's what I was asking you from day one. Things do not just move.
How many times? Mass doesn't attract mass. It's not a natural phenomena. We never observe it. They don't have a dependent variable. They don't have a... How many times have I got to say it?
Yeah, but you're just going back to what I said initially. Things don't...
Spurs,
Yeah?
this is really getting out of hand, bro. We don't see mass attracting mass in reality. It does not happen. So therefore...
Why are you labeling it mass attracting mass? I never use those words, mass. I just said we have a ball, we have another ball.
Because this is the only reason you're asking about this Cavendish experiment, because the ballers keep telling you that that's what it proves, and it doesn't. We don't see it in nature.
No, I'm not trying to prove a force for them. I'm trying to disprove there is no force. This is the whole
You
point.
don't need to.
No
Why
worries.
are you
No
going
worries.
in
Spurs.
their presuppositional reason to try to disprove it? That makes no sense.
Yeah, Spurs, we're giving you that. You want to disprove a force. All you've got to do is ask them to show it you. That's it. Oh, right, there's a force, is there? Luke, show me the force, Luke. Oh, right, well, no, I can't actually show it you, or any examples thereof. But here's a man-made device that shows mass attracting mass when I string balls up and get them to attract one another. Well, when do we see a natural phenomena like this? Because before we actually do any science, we need to see it happening in nature, not just in your mechanical device. It's akin to explaining why the driving car drives itself. Why is the autonomous car driving itself? A man made a chip. No. It's driving itself. Let's not worry about the fact that we put it together. Well, let's not worry about why the Cavendish balls are strung up in the first place, because a man strung them up. Yeah, they attract one another. That's what they say. Well, okay. Yeah. You string balls up together and they attract one another, do they? That's interesting. What's that got to do with my natural world that I experience every day? Do I experience balls attracting one another? Does anything attract to anything ever? No. Never. So we've got to suddenly explain their parlour trick. I'm not interested.
And even if you were to bypass the whole man-made issue and think that Cavendish could be a viable experiment somehow, the main problem with the entire setup has always been that they can't properly isolate their independent variable. It's just impossible. The entire setup is based on trying to isolate that independent variable, and it's practically impossible.
Variable for
And
what?
that's why the results are never perfectly consistent. That's
Variable
why
for
it's
what?
all over the place.
What are you trying to cause? You're trying to cause an effect that's created in a device built by man. So way whistling past the graveyard, as QE puts it. No. Step one, observe a phenomena. Oh, right, you don't have one. End of story. Not what's the cause. You're already looking at step 3 and what it does, the experiment, and asking what the cause of that is. The experiment's supposed to figure out the cause, not give you an effect.
This is like Brenda saying the iron ore in the ground caused the car to be parked by the road.
Lol. Yeah, I know. But that's why I said, even if you were to bypass that part, then it's just like accepting gravity to be a thing, that it would still not help to keep the gas pressure on the ball. That thing. It's like going into their model and showing that despite that you could presuppose certain aspects, that technically it still won't work out. And I have been confronted with the Cavendish experiment before, like in school, and even then they said, yeah, it's so hard and it's like, oh, it's very tough to isolate the independent variable. That's what they literally said. So even if you would accept that it is an experiment, the results are always all over the place, and that kind of dispels the whole issue.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
Any evidence of Earth radius, the R value?
No.
No.
Nope.
Any evidence to the distance to the sun?
Had that. Any evidence you can
No
have gas
confirmed
pressure?
measured distance.
Any evidence
Well,
you can
that
have
was for argument.
gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container? Last but no means least.
No way.
Right, I want to share.
Not even presupposing gravity will help against that.
I want to share my experience on Jose's channel this morning. This morning UK time is late in the night for the Americans. Jose was on quite late. I had a bit of, I woke up early because the sun was up and whatnot, and they were talking about stuff. So I was just listening, and somebody said something about me, and I just said yo, and then they invited me in and whatnot. But basically, when I went in there, I realized that they accuse flat earthers of just denying all the science. And we're the ones that are trying to ask for the science to demonstrate science. We want to see the cause and the effect relationship being complied with. We want scientific method to be complied with. And Sean G is one of the morons in there that basically denies everything that you put to him. Literally everything. He denies everything, whether it's scientific method or otherwise. He denies everything, right? And basically, he called me a science denier. And I just thought, I've just realized at this moment that if Sean G is calling me a science denier and there's 4 or 5 other ballers on the panel, there's no way I can respond to that because there's 4 or 5 v1 and majority.
Wait, I just want to make sure, Riley, this is the same Sean G that denied the definition of superseded after you read it to him and looked it up and presented it to him, and still denied it, right?
Yeah, he denies everything, and no matter what you say to him, he just dilutes. I mean, literally, he said the 8 inches per mile squared is just a simple formula for newbies, notwithstanding the fact that it's the geometric calculation for the first quarter of the Earth, and it works perfectly fine up to about 100 miles. He wanted it to be more maths, please, and it is the maths. That is literally the maths, but he denies it. So I realised that there's no conversation possible with Sean G because he just denies everything. But what I realized is that you can't actually go into Jose's chat as a flat earther and have a conversation because no matter what you say, it's 3, 4, 5, 6 v1. So you're never, ever going to get anywhere with them. So for that reason, I'm never going to be able to go back into Jose's chat because they'll never, ever, 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 ever concede anything, ever. And I'm like, there's no point. It's a waste of my time. I'd rather be back in bed. So that's what I did. I left, went back to bed, and then presumably they all started laughing. But Jose, from me to you, dude, as a friend, you've got to have people that are intellectually honest enough to accept that scientific method is defined, pseudoscience is defined. We have a mechanism to work stuff out, and it's not okay to claim that it's just my interpretation of scientific method. It is scientific method. We understand what the procedure is. It's not that difficult to do. But they have to deny it at all times because they know they can't prove the Earth turns or that there's gravity or that there's curvature. All the things that we ask for, they know that they can't prove it. And they just deny it. They just literally deny everything. So, Jose, if you want to improve the standard of your Hangouts, you're going to have to implement some controls, which is scientific method is going to have to be one of them. It's defined by the word pseudoscience. So come on, Jose. Get your ship under control, otherwise you're not going to be able to get flat earthers going in there.
Nah, sorry, but Jose doesn't care really about that. He doesn't care about scientific method. He just wants a good show and everybody to chat in the chat and troll and let troll. That's Jose. Sorry, buddy, but that's what it is. Just calling it like I see it.
Yeah.
Well, that's insensitive of you, Chocolate, not caring for the suffering of Jose.
Again, let me go get my tissues and a glass of warm milk for all the ballers who have problems with it. I don't care.
Yeah, I can't even get them to agree what is the
he's going to get quick results in a big crowd in the beginning, but in the end, it's not going to win.
Well, it's like Nathan says, they're just parlor tricks. They're accepting parlor tricks for science, and we're reading to them what causes science and what is science, and they can't handle it because they love the magic of the parlor tricks.
Yeah, I couldn't even get them to have a consensus on what is the definition of pseudoscience when it says it's literally got to be based on scientific method, and they just won't agree to it. And I'm like, well, there's no conversation that we can have if we can't even agree the basic definition of what's fake science compared to what's real science. They just won't have it. So unless that changes, there's just no point in going into Jose's chat as far as I'm concerned. Do you know what, Nathan? We should have that definition of pseudoscience as one of the thumbnails in the background because it needs to come up far more.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Maybe throw in the definition of supersede too.
They're very narrow terms, both pseudoscience and science, so I don't see why not.
And we should put Moose's chat in there as well. You can think of it as a force, but it's not a force, but you can think of it as a force. It's just too good not to put in there.
So, guys.
Yes.
What's up, Eli?
What's up? What's up? So I'm fighting the good fight this morning, and I happen to see posted that there is a court case that pretty much went in favor of the flat earther. And so I was like, well, I would need a way to verify that. I need to. And so then an hour and a half later, the PDF is posted, and then you have the number. You can call the court, and then they'll give you the case number and all of that.
Yeah, Zen Garcia was the defendant as he was being sued for $15,000 because somebody claimed to have proven Earth curvature with two separate examples, independent of one another. The judge ruled against that claim.
That is straight embarrassing for the globe. Curvature literally lost in court, guys. I mean, if that doesn't wake you up a little bit, because if curvature was there, it would just be there.
That must have pretty much shocked him, I think.
I'm sure it shocked everybody in the court.
But I proved the curvature.
We need to put this down with some context. We've got Greater Sapien that failed to demonstrate he could fly around the South Pole. We've got Sly Sparkane who failed to demonstrate curvature of the Earth using tubes of water. And now we've got this other bloke called Thompson who failed to prove the curvature of the Earth in court. There are three major failings on the ball Earth side, right? Just let that sink in.
Yep. And I just see more to come.
Yeah, legally there's no proof of curvature, guys.
If you guys can't prove in a courtroom that there is curvature, then
that should definitely be added into the beginning.
Forget legally, visually, there is no curvature.
No, legally. Legally, there's no confirmed proof of curvature.
No, I know that, Arwin. I'm not saying that's not valid. I'm saying visually, there is no proof of Earth curvature.
We already have that covered. We ask every day, first question, any proof of Earth curve? Well, clearly not, by any standards so far, including legal.
Not optically, not physically, not geometrically, and not legally.
You just took it out of my mouth, Arwin.
And let's be honest, that's always been my position, that you guys would never be able to prove your position in court. Yeah, you might sit there and circle jerk in Jose's chat and sit there with a populist consensus. But I don't mean that don't make it a ball. If you can't prove it, then it ain't a ball, right? And you guys you're not passing the test, are you? You're demonstrating by failing that Greater Sapien couldn't fly around the bottom. You're demonstrating by failing that Sly couldn't measure the curvature of the Earth using tubes. And you're demonstrating by failure that some bloke with bridges and satellites and stuff couldn't prove that the Earth was curved either. Come on, it's your claim to prove.
Yeah, that's a two-edged sword because there's judgments handed down by biased judges that go against logic as well. So watch them come out with another one saying that, it is a globe. So
yeah, but the problem is curvature isn't a biased thing. It's an actual thing that's supposed to be where it is. So at this point, at this stage of the game, we shouldn't have curvature being proven to us. It should just be there, and it's not. This is the reason we're all here, because it's not there.
That's exactly right. So when they play this game against us, we'll just let's go out and let's see this curvature that this judge says it exists, and no one's going to be able to see it.
Well, they got George Musa saying it's not a force. So it's like, forget George Musa, whatever he said, you guys don't understand. Then they have Neil deGrasse Tyson that we literally see them throw under the bus nowadays. Now they're going to throw
Now they're going to throw what? Now they're going to throw what?
They're going to throw the legal system.
Right. Yeah, got to decry the legal system now as well, right? What do the judges know about standards of evidence?
Right, exactly.
What do those judges know about evidence? They don't know anything. We know better because we all agree.
Oh god,
Yeah.
that is
Pretty sad, yeah.
Oh man.
Ball busters on Saturday. What's the topic?
By just unmuting everyone on Discord. They all already were. They're just not very chatty, apart from Elijah.
Do we have a ball busters for Saturday, and what would be the topic?
I don't know. I'll have to let you know.
I might find out on Sunday, depending when this show goes out.
Right, this show goes out on Saturday. 11 o'clock.
I got an idea.
Go on, Paul.
I got an idea. The difference between natural and man-made causes. That might be a good one.
I don't understand. Is that a preamble, or is that your example?
No, I'm just saying that's what you should do on ball busters. Do the difference between natural and man-made causes. How can you tell the difference?
Oh, that doesn't need a ball busters episode. If a man makes it, then it's man-made. If you observe it in nature, then it's natural. That's really not that complicated.
I know, but oh, I understand, but Spurs Schemo doesn't seem to get it.
See this thing on screen, this kaleidoscope? If you were to ask me, what causes that? Do you know what I'd say? Say a man made it.
Man put the crystal in the kaleidoscope.
Right, yeah. Someone manufactured it to do that. That's what I'd say. But I could say, no, we're clearly seeing the effect of, I don't know, let's make something up, the polarization of blah, 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 and that's because of unicorn farts. So, obviously, there's the effect inside the lens. Unicorn farts have proved it, because I presuppose that experiment proves it. And there's the effect. It's there in the lens. Are you going to deny the effect? Well, what's the cause of the effect? That's what Spurs would say. What's the cause of this? Well, it was put together by a man to do that. No, it's still creating an effect, though. Yeah, creating an effect. If it wasn't for the man putting it together, that effect wouldn't be created, would it? We're not interested in man-made effects, natural phenomena.
I think I knew what he was trying to say, though. And I was going to jump in, but it never got there. But it's like I'm thinking to myself, if I go out and start my truck up, and it normally runs fine, then I go out and start it up, and it starts to not run fine. It starts to sputter, and not run efficiently enough. Now there could be a natural cause, or there could be a man-made cause. The natural cause could be a cat got in, or something got into my intake system and clogged up the intake. So that's probably what's causing it not to run good, or something that man-made broke or me driving it so much caused something to break in it. So now it's not running good. So now you could get into determining which one of those, that one's a natural cause and one's a man-made cause. So I think that's kind of where he's starting to he's muddying the waters a little bit. I think that's what he's trying to do. So I mean, that to me, to say that there's a natural cause for the balls to be attracted, you'd have to remove all possibility of any man-made event in that to cause, just to account for that, which means all the variables. And I think that's what he wasn't getting in my mind.
Maybe. I just see it as step 3. Not looking for the cause of step 3. Step 3 is the thing you use to figure out cause.
Right.
Yeah, the experiment isn't where you derive your cause from. It's what you use to figure it out.
Oh, I agree.
Best part is if we actually saw mass attracting mass in nature, we wouldn't be having this discussion. It would just happen, just like curvature, just like rotation. All these things would just happen. The globe would not need defending. It would just be a spinning globe. That's it.
Exactly. We get
And
away
if we
with
saw
saying,
it happening,
Go on, Paul.
I was going to say, if we saw it happening, wouldn't that be a law then, though? It'd be just something the way it is. Like,
Correct.
why does relative density work the way it does? It's just a law. It's just the way it is. We wouldn't try to attribute a cause to it. It would just know that that's the way it is.
Right. Yeah, you need to start conjuring up causes if you've got something that doesn't really exist in the first instance. We can get away with saying the Earth is obviously and observably flat. That Dean guy was a great example, which is why I mirrored it recently. That Dean guy's got a building, photograph thereof, concrete noun. We just go, building. Literally no explanation required on the side of flat Earth. Because the Earth is obviously and observably flat, it requires no apologies or explanations. There it is. Have a look at it. Now the globe Earth needs lots of mathematics, lots of geometric presuppositions. That's what it needs. To hijack perspective, that's what it needs. But if it was a globe, the Earth would be obviously and observably curving. From every vantage point, always. It would be blatantly obvious. It's not, because it isn't.
Yep. Concealment rate is linear over distance. There's no signs of curvature geometry in any aspect.
Yeah, few presuppositions here. Shout out to Tina Baker for the super chat. Can't get enough of Flat Earth debate. Have a great day, guys. Thank you very much indeed for your support, Tina Baker and husband. Really appreciate it.
Wasn't that what John was saying with the Lake Pontchartrain shoreline and sea level? So they're going to have to change the terminology to sea curve instead of sea level, because if it's sea level and it's 3 feet on either side, it's flat.
Yeah, the measurements, the topography, the way we observe it, it's all flat. It is, as stated, obviously and observably flat. That is what we are presented with. Agreed on both sides, including by heliocentric priests like Neil deGrasse Tyson. That stuff is flat, right? Yeah, well, that's what he's talking about. Obviously and observably not a sphere.
I love the fact that he doesn't even just say you can't see curvature like normally. He says he emphasizes it with you can't see the curvature of the Earth from 2 millimeters above this beach ball. Like he's emphasizing that you cannot see curvature from that height. Doesn't matter if he thinks it's a ball or not. But yeah, we have ballers telling us we can see curvature at 5 miles. Get a grip, guys.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to. You're supposed to be able to. And in that regard, the doublespeak from the heliocentric priest is wrong. You should be able to measure curvature. It should be there. It should be obviously and observably curved. Hey, Ranty. It just isn't.
Is Tony gone?
He's vanished. I sent him a Skype message saying, "Are you okay?" He just vanished.
Hey, Chocolate. He also threw all the people using the Felix Baumgartner shots to prove a globe under the bus.
Yeah, they've got to take on our arguments. It's 6 and 1 1/2 dozen of the other. You come into, Flat Earth on the websites at least, and you'll come straight to Flat Earth Society talking about hurtling upwards at 9.8 meters per second squared and water spilling off the edge. In other words, you've got to control the narrative on this side with enough nonsense, but you've also got to spin enough of reality into the heliocentric nonsense. So the fact that it presents itself as flat, well, you've just got to disclaim that, like, yeah, you idiots, of course it looks flat. Well, because then people go, yeah, that's obvious. Of course a sphere would look flat. It's just a way of programming people with double talk.
He also kind of threw Aristophanes under the bus too when he said that Aristophanes' little experiment or whatever was able to be replicated on a flat model as well as the globe. So that doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, but he's taking on. Wouldn't you say that what he's parroting at the moment, Neil deGrasse Tyson, that is, it's just like old 2015 style flat Earth arguments that don't necessarily go against their rhetoric. It's just part of the doublespeak. So in the case of him saying, well, yeah, it doesn't necessarily work that sticks in the shadows give you a 93 million mile sun. It works on either. It just gives you a different measurement. Depends on one thing, right? Presupposing R. So he's admitting that so that when people come across these arguments, which are going to be absolutely rife now, they've been around since 2015, they'll have heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say it and they'll side with him, just naturally. So long as they've heard the argument put forth by Neil deGrasse Tyson, they're not going to suddenly realise how much credence it has when we make that argument. So it's clever, you know, but you've got to understand we're not up against, in that regard, the overriding people who punt this lie, the narrative, are going to be people like Neil deGrasse Tyson who have got a much more structured agenda.
They're just basically following a playbook.
Yeah.
Antonio was live last night. He wants to fight Tony for some reason.
Can we not talk about drama?
Oh no, I think it's quite relevant. You know, I mean, he's challenged him to a fight, and you know, yeah.
Who?
Sleeping Warrior.
But who?
Antonio, the guy that's about 9 stone wet through that ran away from a fight with Dell. When he now he's challenging Sleeping Warrior, and yeah, I just thought I'd bring it to his attention in case he didn't actually know about that.
Not even here. You're just desperate to spread gossip.
Well,
give it a break. Seriously.
In the chat already, you know, they're already all over this. You know, they know.
Fine, but here I'm not interested.
Let's move on.
That someone in
I don't
Discord
know.
piping up?
If that would happen, Anthony would just spit on
curiosity.
him.
What is the reasoning behind this? Is it like the whole conspiracy casting where he has no argument, or is it something else?
I don't know. I'm now visualizing Riley like, okay, I'll do it. And just being kind of like, yeah, I don't really want to. And then he'll just push over Antonio and sit on him. Like, okay, are you going to stop now? This nonsense, please, Antonio?
It's Antonio just desperate for attention. That's all it is. It's why he even made a video in the first place. He made a video about my video explaining why Patricia had left, you know, saying to people, look, this is what I've heard first time from Patricia, to stop any gossip. This is why she's left. And that was it, essentially, you know, highlighting the trolling that's going on. Antonio didn't need to even do a response video, to be fair about it. You know, that wasn't the point. But of course, you know, he likes the limelight. He wants all the attention to be back on himself. And he used it as another opportunity to have a go at Patricia. And whilst he was at it, he also called out Sleeping Warrior and wanted to fight him. So, you know, he didn't do it just once. He did it about 3 or 4 times. So there we go.
All right.
Drama.
And he attacked Roxanne. I don't even understand why.
God. Hello, Alan.
Hello, how you doing, boys? Have you missed me?
Yes, at this moment, please save us from this nonsense.
Back from the dead. Look at you. What's up, Alan?
Listen, I'll fight you all.
Jolly good.
Oh, yeah? You did like 20 push-ups while you were away?
No, I've been camped out in the Dordogne, putting on weight for a film part.
Oh, really? What film?
I'm just waiting for the part to appear. I just seem to be putting on weight.
It's just a way of saying he's getting fatter. Back on the cakes, Alan. You'll be fine.
Thank you, Nathan. Congratulations on the new baby.
Thank you very much. She's a sleeper. Elated, mate. Elated.
Yes, good to know the boys are working.
Boys?
Do you remember those?
The 2 spheres between your leg, Nathan.
I don't know what you're talking about. Fill me in, Ranty or Alan.
The 2 spheres between your legs.
Oh, those boys. Yeah, they're working. Definitely.
So, Alan. Alan, yeah?
Hi.
What did you get 3 months for then?
3 months?
Yeah, that's about how long you've been gone.
I've just stopped off for a short break and then returning on Sunday.
Okay. So you weren't sent down then?
Why would I be sent down? I've never broken the law in my life.
Just asking.
How are you keeping anyway? How's the new house?
New house is fine, thanks. It's big, plenty of room.
Yeah, you said 5 bedrooms, didn't you?
4.
Oh, magic. Did you Did you get your drone?
Not as yet. No. I'm getting the upgraded one. I put the fund out for the basic drone, but then David Weiss got in touch with me and said, "Why don't you go for the upgraded version, which includes infrared, etc." So it's like another 400 quid or something. So I was like, "Okay, then well, I'll put the money towards that myself, and I'll get that, and I have to order it from the US." So.
So you'll be giving Mr. Osman a run for his money, hey?
Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully, I'll have it in about 2.5 weeks. That's the plan.
Fantastic. More globe proofing coming.
So far.
What are you eating?
A jumbo sausage.
There hasn't been any globe proof coming in the first instance. What do you mean more?
Ranty's always proving the globe, isn't he? He's fantastic.
No, recently Tim Osman himself listed a whole massive list of things that they immediately discount as being the cause of what they claim is Earth curve, and just call it Earth curve. So you have a overriding cause that ignores all others, and in the face of a great big long list of things that you haven't ruled out, you just call it Earth curve. So no, begging the question and assuming that anything that you see in the distant frame of your camera, sorry, someone's starting up a motorbike out my window, is actually Earth curve, because it isn't. You'd have to rule out all of those other things that it could possibly be, as opposed to just laugh at them and just decide to assert your fundy presupposition of Earth curve.
What have I missed? Have I missed anything?
Quite a lot.
What's happened? What's happened in FE?
Nathan, I think I found Earth curvature. If you're looking for it, it's Foundley's Bridge. People were talking about it. I don't know, for about 1.5 years about it. So, but Timmy came across. I came across with Timmy, I believe, 3 weeks ago, and just shows it in front of my face with the Stanley Bridge. So I looked at it and everything. And I put the picture in Discord and also in the Hangout. If you look at it, or if Ranty looks at it, let me know. I put 2 circle markers on that bridge. Let me know if you see that curvature there, if it makes sense.
I don't see any image in the side chat.
Not in the side chat, in the Google back chat Hangout.
Anyway, I'll have £20 on Sleeping Warrior to win round 2.
So, what have you missed? Did you catch George Musa?
I haven't seen anything. I've had no internet and just a basic Nokia 3110 phone.
Fair enough. So, Anthony and Fight the Flat Earth got into a discussion about gravity, and Anthony was insistent, based on a reference from this chap, this astrophysicist called George Musa, that gravity is not a force. So to debunk that assertion, Fight the Flat Earth got the very guy, George Musa, astrophysicist, to come on his show and make it really clear by statement: gravity is not a force.
It's an apparent force. You can think of it as a force.
You can think of it as a force. I like to think of it as roast chicken.
With Yorkshire puddings and potatoes.
Indeed, yeah. I just make shit up about it. Just decide to think about it whatever I like, really. Unicorn farts, 3-tone domes, roast chicken, you name it. You can think of it as whatever you like, really. The reason you can think of it as whatever you like is because what it actually is the bending of a conceptual medium known as space-time. Now, we don't actually experience space-time, it's just a mathematical reification. It doesn't really exist. There is nothing to bend. But that's what they say it is. So, yeah, if you want to claim that a bending of a conceptual medium gives rise to a non-force, then, you know, you're welcome to think that.
An uneven force. Due to the distribution of mass, perhaps?
What's mass?
It's a thing the Catholics do.
Oh, right. Yes, due to the distribution of mass. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, I've lost none of my wit. That's fantastic.
Now you look stupid again.
Hi, Owen. How's your show going?
Good. Fine.
You're mostly drinking tea?
Yep.
How's your funding going?
Could be better. Had some issues. The income from Google explained it. So yeah, could do better, but still going, and yeah, developments keep on going.
How about the rectangular looping map? That's still
just before you get onto rectangle.
It's what it is.
Hold on.
Still
What show would that be, Arwin?
The Flat Earth Early Bird Show. 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day.
And with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who've tuned in the Nathan Oakley live stream. If you are watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. A massive, enormous thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this debate possible. As I say, stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley 1980. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!